My dear friends, welcome to the channel The Electronics World. In lecture number 1, I had welcomed you to this channel. In that lecture, I had also described about why electronics needs to be studied, and in that lecture I had given an idea about the course plan. So we are definitely going to follow that course plan. But if at any point of time, if you feel like a particular topic which is there in your syllabus, or you want to know about it but it is not mentioned in the course plan, then you may please write to me at in the comment box, and I shall add that topic for you. So let us come to our lecture number 2, which is about introduction to electronics. It is the starting of chapter number 1, that is introduction to electronics. In that chapter number 1, today we are going to study about introduction and basic concepts and importance. So what electronics is? Electronics is very vast field of science. So it is very much difficult for all of us to imagine of a day without thinking of or without coming across any type of electronic gadgets or electronic items or electronic equipments. Whatever you may be a student, you may be a teacher, you may be a professor, you may be an astronaut, you may be an architect, you may be a scientist, or you may be a player, whatever you may be, but you cannot think of a day without electronics. So in every field of life, electronics has its presence felt. So let us know in details what electronics is. Electronics may be defined as it is defined as the branch of science which deals with flow of current in vacuum, gas, or in semiconductor. Let me speak it once again. Electronics may be defined as that branch of science which deals with flow of current in vacuum, gas, or in semiconductor. There is another definition of electronics. According to Dr. Biddy, electronics deals with flow of charges or electrons in any materials or devices like resistor, capacitor, nanostructure, etc., etc., etc. So from that one, so Dr. G.S. Biddy, he says that flow of charge or electrons in any devices, any material, and devices like resistor, capacitor, inductor, nanostructure, etc. So let us come to the concepts. concepts. Electronic components play an important role in our life, so we are going to study about those electronic components. Electronic components are basically divided into two types: active components and passive components. Active components are those type of components which do not have their own source of energy. They depend upon external source for their operation, and they are also devices which can make amplification. So the example of active devices are integrated circuits, transistors, etc. Passive components are those type of components which have their own source of energy. In other words, I can say that they can store energy. So that is why they also have their own source of energy. So they do not depend upon the external source for their operation. So these are the active components and passive components. They store energy. They do not depend upon external power. External power for their operation. So the basic difference between active components and passive components are that active components do not have their own source of energy, whereas passive components have their own source of energy. Active components cannot store energy, but passive components can store energy. So these are the basic two differences between active and passive components. So these passive components, the examples are resistors, capacitors, inductors, etc. So let us study about resistors first. Resistors are two-terminal passive component. Resistors are two-terminal passive component. One thing we have to remember about resistors is that they do not have any polarity. They do not have any polarity. but they can have polarity when they are connected in a circuit. So if I will give you a resistor, you cannot say that which terminal is positive terminal or which terminal is negative terminal, because they do not have any polarity. But whenever they are connected in a circuit, one terminal can be positive, another can be negative. So let us see how it happens. These two circuits are different circuits. You see that here I have connected a battery, I have named it as E1, and here it is E2. E2. So this is my terminal A, this is my terminal B. So A is positive, it is connected to the positive, and B is connected to the negative. So A is positive here, B is negative. So here A is negative and B is positive. So let me say my R1 is equals to R2. Let the motive behind saying R1 is equals to R2 is that I am using the same resistor, but I am named it differently. I am using the same resistor here. So here what you see, the current will flow in this direction. In this direction, because the current always flows from positive terminal to negative terminal, but electrons move from negative to positive. Your current moves from positive terminal to negative. So because this is the positive terminal of the battery and this is the negative terminal, so the current will flow like this. Here what happens? The current will flow like this. So what happens here? So let us focus on this circuit diagram. Here you see that the current is entering into the resistor with A at A, and it is leaving the resistor at B. So our convention says that if a resistor is connected across any circuit, when the current flows into the that resistor, then the direction from which the current enters into the resistor, that should be treated as positive terminal, and the other one, that means that is the terminal from which the current leaves the resistor, that should be treated as negative terminal. Here what you can see here is that this current is moving and this is entering into this resistor at terminal A or point A. So that is why this is your positive terminal, and it is leaving this at B. So this is your negative. Similarly, for the same reason, here you see that the current is entering into the resistor from B, so that is why here B is positive, and leaving the resistor at A, so that is why A is negative. So what I mean to say here is that here you see I am using the same resistor, so there is no different resistor, values are same, so same resistor, because I have already assumed that R1 is equals to R2, but I have changed the polarity here, so this is positive and this is negative here, and here it is negative, here it is positive. So just what I did, I just changed the polarity of the battery. So if the polarity of the battery changes, then direction of current will also change. So the same resistor, when it was placed in this circuit, here you could see that this is my positive terminal and this is my negative terminal. But whenever the same resistor with changed polarity in this diagram, so here you can see that this is negative and this is positive. So if I remove this resistor, I cannot say that which one is positive and which one is negative, but whenever I place it in the circuit, I can definitely say that which terminal is positive and which terminal is negative. So resistors have a property known as resistance, and it is due to that resistance only they oppose the flow of current in a circuit. They oppose the flow of current in a circuit. So resistance value, it is nothing but the ratio of voltage to current. So resistance is equals to the ratio of voltage to current. Generally we write resistance as R, so R is equals to, so this is voltage is generally denoted by V and current is by I, so R is equals to V by I. This is what you have to remember. So R is equals to V by I. Okay. Resistors are of two types. They are fixed resistor and variable resistor. So as the name suggests, fixed resistors are those type of resistors whose value remains fixed. They cannot be changed. But the variable resistor, their value can be changed, like your potentiometer. So let us come to capacitors. Capacitors are also two-terminal passive components. They are also two-terminal passive components. Two-terminal passive components, but they can store energy. One thing very interesting about these capacitors are that they can store energy, and that is why they are the passive component. Storage of energy. So what is capacitance then? Is nothing but maximum, it is the ratio of maximum amount of charge stored divided by applied voltage or value of the applied voltage at the plates. The capacitors are of two types. They are polarized and unpolarized. Polarized and unpolarized. The polarized capacitors are those type of capacitors which have polarity, but the unpolarized type of capacitors do not have any polarity. So let us come to the inductors. Inductors, they are also two-terminal passive components. They are also two-terminal passive components. They can store energy. They can store energy in magnetic field when electric current can pass through them. So they can store energy in magnetic field when electric current can pass through them. So this is about our inductor. Dear friends, now let us measure the resistance value of a resistor using color code method. If a resistor has been given to us without using any instrument, how to find the resistance of that resistor? And so this problem can be solved by using color code chart or color code table. So this is our color code chart or color code table. You can see a number of colors have been written over here: black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey, white, gold, silver, no color. So our first job is to remember or memorize these colors in this sequence only. There is a trick to remember these colors. So here I have written the trick. B.B. Roy of Great Britain has a very good wife. You look at the capitalized alphabet of this sentence. This B stands for black, this B stands for brown, this R stands for red, O stands for orange, Y stands for yellow, G stands for green, B stands for blue, G stands for violet, G stands for grey, W stands for white. And if you remember these colors from black to grey and black to white, then the rest colors are gold, silver and no color. So by memorizing this table or this chart, how to determine the resistance value of a resistor. So look at this example, this diagram which I have shown as an example here. You can see some lines over here I have drawn. Actually they are in actual resistor, they have the color bands. So when you will see a resistor, you will see different colors here, the band of colors. One thing I will tell you, that the colors may be same or different. So this can be possible that all colors are red, possible. And if it is not there, so there can be different colors. So this is red, this is green, this is red, or any other color like that. But in my example, this is my red color, this is my green color, this is my red color, and this is my silver. So it is our first duty to know which one is your tolerance band, which one is our tolerance band. So how to know the tolerance band? So if you see a resistor, both the sides will look equal. How to determine which side is tolerance band? So you see that some colors are there which are out of these four colors here, color bands here, these three are equidistant to one another and another is little bit far away. So whenever you see a resistor, you find out the color band which is little bit far away from the other colors, and that color is known as your tolerance band. So here we can see that this color band is little bit away from other color bands, so this is our tolerance band. So having recognized the tolerance band, so this is our tolerance band. So having recognized this tolerance band, we can easily recognize other bands. The previous band of the tolerance band is known as multiplier. So this is our multiplier. The rest are digits. So if you will look at 5 band resistor, so last one will be definitely your tolerance. The previous to the last band is your multiplier, and all the rest 3 bands are your digit bands. Having recognized the color bands, we can easily find out the resistance of the resistor. Let's see how. So in this example we could know that. So this is our first band, this is our second band, this is our third band, which is known as your multiplier, and this is our tolerance band. So first recognize the colors associated with these bands. With the first band, the color is red. So I have written here digit first band, digit second band, multiplier third band, and tolerance fourth band. So for digit first band, this color is red. I have written red here. For this one, green. So I have written green. This is red. Multiplier, so red. So I have written red here. Tolerance is silver. So that is why I have written silver over here. Now you see what is the value of digit value for the red. So here you can see that for digit value red is the digit value of red is 2. So I have written 2 here. The digit value of green you can see 5. So I have written 5 here. For multiplier red, the value of red in multiplier is 10 to the power 2. So write 10 to the power 2 over here. And for tolerance, silver color, so silver tolerance is plus minus 10%. So now we have to find out what is the value. So simply write these two here. Simply write this type here. So after these digits, multiplier is coming. So give a multiplication symbol. So that indicates that it is a multiplier. So what is the value, right? 10 to the power 2. So 10 to the power 2. So this many ohms plus minus. What is this value? Tolerance value is 10%. 10%. So 10% of this value which we got over here. So this is nothing but 25 into 10 to the power 2 ohms. This is equals to, you can write 2.5 kilo ohm, because this is 2500 ohms, which is nothing but 2.5 kilo ohm. So 2.5 kilo ohm plus minus 10% of 2.5 kilo ohm. 10% of 2.5 kilo ohm is equals to 0.25 kilo ohm. So this value will be 2.5 kilo ohm plus minus 0.25 kilo ohm. So which is equals to, I can say 2.5 kilo ohm minus 0.25 kilo ohm, and another value will be 2.5 kilo ohm plus 0.25 kilo ohm. So the resistance value will lie in between 2.5 kilo ohm minus 0.25 kilo ohm, that is 2.25 kilo ohm to 2.5 kilo ohm plus 0.25 kilo ohm, that is 2.7 kilo ohm. When we will measure the actual resistance value using multimeter, we can find a value which will definitely fall in this, within this range. So similarly, if we are talking about a 5-band resistor, I told you that the last band is the tolerance band. The previous band of the last band is known as your multiplier, and rest are your digits. So there will be 3 digits column here. So 3 values will come for digits, then your multiplier, and then your tolerance. The procedure is completely the same, and just for remembering this table, you have to employ this trick. So you can write the colors here, so gold, silver and no color, and for digits you can write 0 to 9. For gold, silver, no color, you should not write anything here. Multiplier also 10 to the power 0, 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 2, 10 to the power 3 up to 10 to the power 9. Nothing to write over here. and tolerance value you have to remember and write it accordingly. In some cases you will see that there is no color. Actually this indicates that the last band or tolerance band does not have any color. So if that is the case, then what will happen? Then for no color the tolerance value will be plus minus 20%. So if you are using a 4-band color, 4-band resistor, but 3 resistor bands you are able to see. So that indicates that the fourth one is of no color. So in that case you have to use this tolerance value. So this is how you can determine or you can measure the resistance value of a resistor. Dear friends, let us come to the importance of electronics. There are many importance of electronics. So some of them are being mentioned here. First one is rectification. Rectification means conversion of AC to DC, alternating current to direct current. Why it is required? It is required because in many of the electronic industry, the power which we are getting is a AC power, but some of the electronic, many of the electronic equipments, they run on DC power. So how can they? So in that case, how can they run? So for that reason, we have to convert the AC power to DC power, and that is accomplished by your rectifier. So this is the input side of the rectifier, which is a AC power, or you can say AC power, and this is what you are getting a DC. So this is our AC and this is our DC. So the question arises, we know that a DC looks like something like this, a straight line, but I am not getting a straight line here. It is actually, I can see that some type of pulsations are present. So due to that reason, this output is also known as pulsating DC, and these pulsations can be minimized using filter circuit at the output side of the rectifier, and that is what we are going to study in some other class. So let us come to the consumer electronics. You know that consumer electronics is a vital point while studying electronics, because many of the equipments, electronic equipments that you are seeing, generally they are used in the houses. Like you can say your washing machine, your dishwasher, your irons also, and your mobile phones, etc., etc. So this list goes on like this. So consumer electronics has also become an important point to study. Industrial application. Electronics has its applications in the industries, because many of the industries are getting automated. So to minimize the human hindrance, they are getting automated, and for that automatization, control activity should be there, and control activity can be achieved by your electronic equipments only. Next comes your image processing. Image processing is nothing but processing of an image. So image processing is a very vital field of study, and this field of study has its implications on other branches of other fields of study of your electronics. Like we can say image processing is related to your medical applications. Image processing is helpful for industrial processes. So image processing is also important for study of climates or some other things like that. So image processing is not actually it is a process of enhancing the characteristics of the image, so that it can be better visible, it can be interpreted in a much better way. Next comes your machine learning. Machine learning is nothing but it is the process in which machine learns from its mistakes. So we human beings have a tendency to learn from our mistakes. Machine also learns from its mistakes, not mistakes, you can say rather it is past activities. So that process is known as machine learning. Machine learning, you might have seen in your Google page that when you keep on typing something, a number of related inputs come into your picture, come into your eyesight. So that is what is nothing but as this is the result of machine learning, that this machine itself uses its past experience to find out what the user is going to type or what the user might be looking at. So that is what is your machine learning is about. Medical applications, electronic items are very much required in the electronic items, like you can say you have ECG machine, you have EEG machines, different type of other machines are there which are used in medical field. So these are some of the importance. And last one is your conversion of light. So one basic thing you have to remember, that light can be converted. Light can be converted into electricity. So you can see that we have a solar system. Which converts your light into electricity. So these are some of the importance of electronics, and you can write systematically like this.
Let us have a look at the topics that we have studied in lecture number 2. Electronics is the branch of science which deals with conduction of current through vacuum, gas or semiconductor. Definition number 2 says, according to Dr. G.S. Virdi, electronics is the study of flow of charge or electrons through various materials and devices such as semiconductors, resistors, capacitors, inductors, nanostructure, etc. Basic concepts. Electronic components are of two types, active components and passive components. Active components, these are the components or devices which can amplify an electric signal and produce power. They rely on external power source for their operation. Examples: oscillator, transistor, integrated circuit, etc. Passive components are the type of components which can store energy in the form of voltage or current. They do not require external power source for their operation. Resistor is a passive two-terminal electrical component that implements electrical resistance as a circuit element. In electronic circuits, resistors are used to reduce current flow, adjust signal levels, to divide voltages, bias active elements, and this biasing we are going to study in some other lecture while we will be studying about transistor, and terminate transmission lines among other uses. Two types of resistors are there, fixed and variable. Fixed resistors, carbon film, metal film, wire wound resistor. Variable resistor, semi-fixed, completely variable, potentiometer. Measurement unit is in ohms, and the resistance can be measured using color code method and by multimeters. Capacitor. A capacitor is a component that stores electrical energy in an electric field. It is a passive electronic component with two terminals. The capacitance of a capacitor is defined as the ratio of the maximum charge that can be stored in a capacitor to the applied voltage across its plates. Two types of capacitors, polarized and unpolarized. These are some of the resistors you can see here. These are the capacitors, electrolytic capacitor. This is electrolytic capacitor. Electrolytic capacitor. This is tantalum. This is actually this one is electrolytic, and these are the ceramic capacitors. Inductor. An inductor is called a coil. It is a coil, a choke, or reactor. It is also a passive two-terminal electrical component, and it can store energy in a magnetic field. Just look at this word, magnetic field. When electric current flows through it. An inductor typically consists of an insulated wire wound into a coil around a core. So here you can see a picture of an inductor. So these are the importance of electronics. We have already studied rectification. Rectification is nothing but conversion of AC to DC. Consumer electronics, we are coming across different types of consumer electronics like your mobile phones, your digital watches, washing machine, etc., etc., ACs, etc., etc., etc. Industrial electronics is nothing but it is the control activity in a automated system. Image processing is done to enhance the quality of the image for better visibility and better adaptability. Machine learning, it is the process of learning by the machine from its previous experience. Medical applications is nothing but we can see that different types of electronic equipments are used in the medical, like ECG machines, EEG machines, and several other machines which are electrical in nature or electronics in nature. So that is why they are also very much useful in medical applications. Conversion of light into electricity. So we see that solar systems are there where light can be converted to electricity. Also electricity can be converted to light. Electricity can be converted to light. So we can think of a X-ray machine or a photocopier machine in which the input is the electrical current and output is the light. So this light produces some photograph that you are seeing. So light can be converted to electricity and electricity can be converted to light. So now we have come to the end of the video, that is lecture number 2. If you have any type of doubts or you need some clarification, you want to give some suggestions, you are wholeheartedly welcome and you can write in the comments box. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.